There are some things in racing that never change. And some that do. We listen to you, and with your feedback, we created a steering wheel that is up to our Simucube standards. Our several months of R&D and the rigorous testing of our drivers gives you the confidence needed to win in all genres of racing. We want you to feel connected to the road in the most authentic way possible, and to be in control at all times. That is why we developed the Simucube button. With this button, you can adjust the essential steering parameters on the fly, while focusing on winning. Racing never truly changes. It evolves, and so does Simucube. We are proud to introduce the Simucube Daco GT21 steering wheel, available worldwide.
Good evening and welcome to round 3 of hashtag NoFilter DXB. So we've already had 2 races already, last Wednesday and the Wednesday before. Of course, you watch that relive right here on Pole Position's YouTube channel. But more importantly, this is our final online race. We will go live starting from next weekend for our final race of the season, which of course will be held at Dubai Harbour as part of hashtag NoFilter DXB. This of course is the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event launched as part of hashtag NoFilter DXB, and it's been quite the run-up here towards the grand event. We started the event online 2 weeks ago. The grids have been filled throughout all 3 races that we've had. We've even got racers live with us here in the pole position warehouse just below our position now. I think we have 2 drivers here in the facility, and then we have a further what looks to be 12 that are racing from the comfort of their home. But of course that will all change starting next week, where we have our grand finale with cash prizes up for grabs as well, at a price for a total 20,000 dirhams, which will be held at the Dubai Harbour as part of hashtag NoFilter DXB. So we've got a slightly different format from what we had last time out here. We are, of course, doing our final free practice session here. We'll have of course, a 50-minute qualifying. That's up from 5 minutes to what we had last week and the week before. The warm-up race has been shortened down to about 5 minutes. We usually did 15 minutes, and I just had a look at the previous race schedule. We did 15 minutes of qualifying as well. It looks like we'll be doing 5 minutes of qualifying. 15 minutes of qualifying again, but 5-minute warm-up race. The race itself will continue to be 20 minutes. For all our drivers here, and this week we'll be driving around the full Grand Prix circuit configuration here of the Dubai Autodrome. 5.39 kilometers length, 16 corners in total, 2 long back straightaways that stretch out to a maximum of about 900 meters a piece, with the longest being both the front and of course the back straightaway as well, both offering fantastic opportunities to gain and lose positions as well, because they're both heavy into the braking zones and both of them are right-handers. But however, the first one is the only one to have, it's a downhill and then to the right, and that has provided us some fantastic overtaking opportunities throughout the first 2 rounds of the championship. We do have, what I see on my screen here is a total of 14 drivers. It looks like we have at least 5 newcomers here, including Mohammed Jilan, who raced in the EMSO Summer Series last year and this year as well. We have who else have we got who's new here? We've got Mark Fieselbon, who is here with us this weekend, and it seems to be the BMW is the most popular, as it was last time out here, is the BMW M6. The first race weekend it was the Bentley, and now this weekend, and with a previous race, it was the BMW. But it seems to be have a flurry of manufacturers here, including the Bentley Continental GT. We only have 1 entered here this weekend, with newcomer Mohammed Akram behind the wheel of that one. Then we have no less than 5. I think we have about 6 BMWs, so we have 7, because Charlie Hayek is also in one. We have the lone Porsche again, driven by Alexandros Animas. We have 2 Audis here, Ferry Watchet and Rob Day, both behind the wheel of the Audi R8. We have just 1 Mercedes AMG. Levans will drive that car around the GP circuit here. And then we have 2 Chevrolets, the Corvette C6s. They are still running the front engine version of the Chevy, with Mohammed Jilan and Agdora also racing in the Chevy. So both newcomers here with the Chevrolet. We did have 1 of the C6s in our opening race. We didn't quite see it until race number 2. We didn't see it appear at all actually during race number 2, but it's great to see the Corvette is back for our 3rd and final online round here in hashtag NoFilter DXB, the esports tournament for 2021. So we got practice underway right now, and as we said, we'll move on after this is finished into the qualifying, which will be a 15-minute event, which of course will set the field up for our race. So we had some interesting play happen in our previous round, where we had a few drivers suffer disconnection issues, or what we presume might have been disconnection issues, because we saw a few of the fast drivers unfortunately take to the grid, but it was round one when we saw them completely disappear, unfortunately. One of those drivers was Harry Hannam, who is not here this weekend, so unfortunately we're missing one of the fastest esport drivers in the UAE, which is kind of a downer, but hopefully we'll get to see him at the final event at the Dubai Harbour. This man right here, the Dubai Harbour, was a surprise entry, because he came into the race late. He missed the qualifying completely, started at the back of the grid, but worked his way up all the way into the top three. Now, what can he do here in the third and final round? Well, we'll have 15 minutes of qualifying to find out where he will be, and then we will take a break. So, quick break for sponsors, and then we'll be off to qualifying. So we kick things off now for qualifying, Christopher, as I have been for round one and round two here. So we're straight diving into the qualifying round here. The drivers are already now, well, we see at least three drivers there. We've got Rob Day, we've got Mohammed Akram, Hazem Zaki, Mohammed Jalan, who we're looking at right now, and a few more are starting to work their way out, as well as Jamal Gando, who was our race winner in round two, looking for a repeat here in the third round of #NoFilter DXB, looking for an outright win here. Here's Mohammed Akram as well. First time we're seeing him in the series, looking for a strong start here in the third and final online race of the championship. And of course, well, we're now on our out laps here, so no laps to be set just yet, but we'll see who the early pace setters are. I can imagine Jeremiah Hopper here is one of them. As we said, he started dead last in race two of #NoFilter DXB, but when it came to the final lap of the race, he was on the third step of the podium, which was a fantastic drive from the BMW M6 driver, and he's looking to repeat it here in our third round of the championship. So he's on his first lap here after his out lap, and well, let's see what he can do as Mohammed Akram goes purple through sector one, but there's no surprise about that, because of course this is our first time going through the first sector in the qualifying race. So let's see what Mohammed Akram can do, because it looks like he'll be the first one across the line in his Bentley Continental GT, as he's working his way through sector two now. So what we did last time is we ran the international circuit, we ran the national circuit, and now we're running the full GP circuit. The drivers had a chance to practice earlier on today, so they've got adjusted to the track. But if there is one person in this race right now, or this qualifying session, that will know the track better than anybody else, will be Alexandros Anivas in his Porsche 911. Of course, races here in the NGK UAE Pro Car Championship, has done for many years in both Renault Clios and of course his TCR Cupra, which he won two races with last Friday and Saturday. Oh no, just the Friday actually, because it ran only on the Friday. It was the Clio Cups that ran on the Saturday. But Alexander Anivas looking for his first outright win here, his second in the second round last week. And Mohammed Akram sets the field up here with 157.674 around the Dubai Autodrome, as we have two more times clocking in now, more drivers working their way across the line. Here's Ibrahim Al-Awali, the Omani driver, strong through sector one and sector two. Let's see what we can do across the line. Will he go fastest? Yes, he does. 157.365, and he's 0.3 of a second faster than Mohammed Akram. Here is Mark Vezabon who is working his way through sector 1 here for the first time in his BMW M6. Then what can he do through sector 1? Can he go faster than our current pole sitter for the time being? As he works his way around now the back parts of the track, and he slowly now works his way through the first couple of corners as Jamal Gondor goes quickest through sector 1 with a 49.8. He was 1,000th of a second, or sorry, 100th of a second faster compared to our race leader through that sector. It's quite a close margin, but he is faster nonetheless. Going purple through that first sector. What can he do through sector 2 though in his BMW M6? As we anticipate him coming across that sector 2 timing beacon. Just waiting for the time to tick over. He goes green, so he's 40th of a second faster compared to his personal best, but however not 40th of a second faster than Alawali, who's out in front at the moment. So Jamal works his way now up towards the hairpin. Has he just gone through the hairpin? Actually, no, he's coming through the final corner now, isn't he? Yes, he is. Let's see how fast he goes and where he'll be. Will he be second fastest? Currently, he's third fastest there at the line. It's about 500th of a second behind Muhammad Akram. It goes third fastest here. Hazem Zaki in fourth position with 1.1 seconds off of our race qualifying leader at the moment, who we're looking at right now, Alawali. Purple again through both sector 1 and sector 2 here. Now, what can he do through the final sector? No doubt this will be a quick lap here, but can he dip into the 156s here? Is he up by 3/10 of a second? Yes, he is. 1/10 of a second faster through sector 1, and 2/10 through sector 2. Does he go? Yes, he does. 156.963 for Alawali, who now goes fast of all. Meyer now up into second position, but he's 5/10 of a second off our qualifying or provisional pole for the time being. Is Muhammad Akram now in third position. We'll start on the second row of the grid if the session would end now. However, we have 9.5 minutes remaining on the clock. As Hazem Zaki, personal best through both sector 1 and sector 2. 7/10 of a second through sector 1 and 9/10 of a second through sector 2 as he comes across the line now. Where does that put him? He doesn't improve. Now he is still fifth fastest, just behind our race 2 winner, as Muhammad Akram is now up into third position in his Bentley Continental. As he's working his way now through the penultimate corner. And he's just gone off, so it looks like he'll go back to the pit lane and try once again. So Richard here looking to improve. Currently 7th fastest at the moment. 2 seconds behind our pole sitter, provisionally that is, as Mohamed Jalan posts his fastest lap 8th so far. And he's 2.6 seconds adrift from our provisional pole sitter. Does Theory improve on this lap? No, still in 7th position behind Vehicle Professor, Saudi driver, who's now gone 6th fastest here at the line in his BMW. There's Charlie Hayek here looking to improve, currently 11th fastest, and he's 1.6 seconds faster through sector 1 compared to his best time so far, and through sector 2 he's 3 seconds faster in his BMW. So looking for massive improvement here on this lap. This is up through the left-hander now of the bowl complex. That would be turn 13. Sorry, turn 14, excuse me. He's working his way to turn 15 now. The final corner, of course, turn 16 here at the Dubai Autodrome. Now, what can Charlie Hayek do on this lap? As he's just been bumped down to 12th fastest, as Vieselbon has gone now into 11th fastest. This is a quick lap for Charlie Hayek, but not quick enough to improve, as he's still slotted in on the 6th row of the grid here in our third round of #NoFilterDXB Esports Tournament for 2021. Here's the sole Mercedes AMG GT with the vans behind the wheel. He is currently shown as 10th fastest, so in the top 10, but looking to improve here. He's quick through sector 1 and sector 2, not purple, but it is green. So personal best through our first 2 sectors here. As he's through now into the penultimate corner. Down towards the final corner we go, and how far will this put him up the order? Can he make his way past Alexander Sanivas, who's now shown as ninth fastest, as Mohamed Jalan moves up into 8th? And make that now, Levans goes 8th fastest here with a 1:59.503. Top 3 still Alawali, Hopper and Akram. Here is Gudamar at the moment, running in 2nd at the moment, 2nd fastest that is. The front row of the grid, but looking for that all-important pole position, because of course that will give him the inside line going down towards turn 1. Now he is fast through sector 1 and sector 2, but personal best, not purple times. And this would bring the gap down by about 1/10 of a second, or possibly 2, if the maths is correct. However, he's slow through sector 3, but he does improve though. Brings the gap down to 3/10 of a second, separating himself and the pole sitter. He's down to 1:57.3 on that lap. Here's Mohamed Jalan getting loose through the bowl complex, so he's loose on our screen here. Bit heavy on the braking going through the bowl complex, but a nice tight line through the penultimate corner though for Mohamed Jalan. Looking again now to improve on his lap times, now 9th fastest. Can he put himself on the 4th row of the grid or higher? As he's across the line now, he does improve to go 6th fastest. That puts him now on the 3rd row of the grid. Bumps vehicle presses down to 7th place, and that puts Mohamed Jalan alongside Hans Zaki for the time being. With just 5 minutes to go here in the session, Le Mans now shown as 9th fastest, because of course Mohamed Jalan moves up the order. And what can he do? He's gone green through sector 1 and sector 2 this time round. Is he 3 seconds faster? I don't presume so, because that will put him as provisional pole. This is cross line. He does improve in all 3 sectors, but is that enough to put him up the order? No, it's not. So he's still 9th fastest here. Still 2.4 seconds adrift from provisional pole. This here is Alexander Sanivas, and actually Levans has actually got 8th fastest now. So he did improve at least 1 position, puts himself 4th on the 4th row of the grid. Just ahead of this man here, Alexander Sanivas, who's also though on a good lap here, looking to improve. Climb his way up the order as well, and his 911, sole 911 as well here in round 3. It has been the sole 911 actually running throughout our 3 rounds so far. There's Anibas, the Greek driver now, working his way through the final corner. As much of the runoff area as he can. And does Alex improve? Yes, he does, because now he goes 8th fastest. So it looks like Alex and Levans here trading that 8th position. Levans now shown on the 5th row of the grid. Here is Thierry Rochette, currently running 7th fastest at the moment. Alongside Alexander Sanivas, could share the 4th row of the grid. However, he's doing a personal best through sector 1. Could this be the improvement that he needs to work his way up the order? So we work our way through the ball complex for Thierry, unfortunately slow through sector 2. What can he do through sector 3? Can he make up the time now across the line? Looks like he's slower. Yes, he is, unfortunately. He did go faster, though, a personal best through that 3rd sector, but unfortunately does not improve his time. Still 7th fastest currently. As here is one of our newcomers. Here's Agdora Nancy in his Corvette C6R. Working his way now through sector 3. Improvement through both sector 1 and sector 2. Big improvement as well. At least over a second in both sectors for Agdora. Just have 2 minutes to go as Agdora now working his way through the final sector. Can he improve and make his way off the 6th row of the grid? How far up the order can he go? So there's no position change up front either. We have about a lap or so to go. Dora still in 12th position despite going green through all 3 sectors this time round. Looking for one more lap here. Looks like we're back up to 14 cars. Unfortunately, we briefly lost Mohammed Jalan, who luckily has got back into the session in his Corvette. Now, the time is interesting what he's shown because, of course, once he left the session, unfortunately, his time was essentially removed, and it looks like he may have to go again for that top 6 position because he was actually one of our fastest drivers here in the Corvette. But unfortunately, now Vehicle Professor's gone up into 6th position. So what can Mohammed Jalan do here? I think it's enough time to at least do 2 laps for our qualifying session here to set the field up. Of course, 1 minute to go in the session, and can he put himself 6th fastest again as he's through the penultimate corner? We just lost sight of him. We'll keep an eye now on the left-hand side of the screen to see what he posts. That is, of course, Mohammed Jalan. Where does he go? He has gone up the order, but where has he gone? No, he hasn't gone up the order. It's still showing that no time has been set. As here is the man that's currently sat in 2nd position on the front row of the grid. And there is confirmation that our qualifying session is over. Seems a bit premature, but however, that's what Race Room is showing us. And it looks like Ibrahim Al-Awali will be on the front row of the grid with Kunuma Alba alongside for company. The gap up front was 0.3 of a second separating the two of them. Mohammed Akram will be on the 2nd row of the grid with race 2 winner Jamal Gondo alongside for company in his BMW M6. Hazem Zaki and Vehicle Professor make up row number 3. Terry Rochard and Alexander Sanibas, who moves up onto the 4th row of the grid here for the start of our 3rd and final online race here at hashtag NoFilter DXB Esports Tournament. And unfortunately, it does look like Mohammed Jalan will start at the back of the field. And that's really unfortunate because he was, before we got disconnected, 6th fastest at the line. And, well, unfortunately, the disconnection happened and it drops him back. So a 5-minute warm-up now before the start of our 20-minute race. And, well, we've seen the grid briefly. And it will be Al-Awali, the Omani driver, who will start alongside Hopper on the front row. And it'll be the shootout down towards the first corner to see who will get that all-important lead through the first couple of corners, because turn 1 can make or break a race. Even if we do have a 20-minute race here, it is quite a challenge to claw back time from there. So we'll have to see how this pans out. Of course, the hashtag NoFilter DXB Esports Tournament for 2021 was launched 2 weeks ago as part of the City Spectacular New Look Motor Show and Lifestyle event being staged by Dubai World Trade Center from the 24th to the 27th of November. Because, of course, that's where we hold our grand finale. As we said, the tournament will reach its climax during a pulsating schedule of on-site finals taking place over the 4 days of hashtag NoFilter DXB at Dubai Harbour. And of course, there are prizes up for grabs, and there's a prize fund of 20,000 dirhams on offer at our grand finale, which of course will take place live at hashtag NoFilter DXB. The series, of course, is organised by Pole Position Events Management, the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event, which gives enthusiasts the chance to qualify through a series of compete-at-home time attacks and multiplayer battles, which, of course, are broadcast live on YouTube and, of course, Facebook as well. You can rewatch all the action if you so please on YouTube. Of course, both races are there from round 1 and round 2, and of course at the latest stage you can rewatch round 3. But if you want to watch it live in action, of course you can watch it at hashtag NoFilterDXB. They'll open its doors from the 24th to the 27th of November. Of course, I think we'll have our 2 races on the Friday and the Saturday, which will be the 26th and the 27th. And you can, of course, come down and watch the racing live. Because if I'm not mistaken, we'll have simulators set up for our finalists who will be driving there that weekend. So you can get a good look at the racing simulators that they have to offer here at Pole Position, because they are very intricate and very, very cool devices that they have set up. And actually, they have them set up here in the warehouse as well, which if you want to check out the simulators, you can do so. Just simply Google Pole Position and you can find out the location of Pole Position and come down and try the sims for yourself. They're very, very cool. I must give them a go myself, probably during actually the hashtag No Filter DXB event. I'll probably give it a go here at Pole Position, but you can check out all of what Pole Position has to offer on the website p-1.com. And of course, check out the rigs that they have. You can stay up to date with the tournaments that they'll be having in the future as well, because of course it's just the start of our esports tournaments here in the United Arab Emirates. Because of course, esports is rapidly expanding, as we've seen over the past couple of years, and the UAE, it is starting to flourish. We had EMSO Run 2 series. We had last year in 2020 and 2021 as well, where we saw some of the drivers go on to compete even further in the Middle East Regional Championships. And of course, we have lots of exciting racing here in these three rounds. Of course, round 3 at the moment. Of course, we'll be leading up to our grand finale. We have about 1 minute to go now in our warm-up session here to give the drivers a bit more time to get used to the track here, of course, running the GP circuit at the Dubai Autodrome. As we said, 16 corners in total, 5.39 kilometres in length, with no less than 2 straights, which gives prime opportunity for overtaking and pick up the toe. And then, of course, we have some heavy braking zones, which supply some fantastic racing action. We're seeing one of them here. This is the lead down towards the final corner here. This is where we actually saw a lot of overtaking happening in real life as well over the weekend, with a lot of drivers choosing to go as far wide as they dare. Here's another great overtaking opportunity, which is pretty much the corner straight after our final corner, which is turn 1, which always offers some great overtaking action, especially if you can get the rundown on the inside. But if you dare to brake as late as you can try the outside line, although not preferred. And of course, it is the long way around. If you get off on the dirty side of the track, pick up marbles, and of course, that will slow you down quite significantly here at the Dubai Autodrome. So we're about to get underway now for our third and final race here of the hashtag No Filter DXB Esports Tournament for 2021. So it won't be the last of us here, because of course we'll be doing it live from Dubai Harbour next weekend. As the warm-up comes to a close, you're looking at, before we start that, it's Mohammed Jalan, who unfortunately had a little bit of drama through the qualifying, was 6th fastest, but unfortunately will have, due to a disconnection issue, has to start from the back of the grid, because the timing, his time wasn't saved by the looks of it. But he is here, which is the great news, and he's going to be one to watch out for as well, because he said he was 6th fastest in his Corvette, and he was the highest placed Corvette as well. So keep a close eye on Mohammed Jilan. So on the front row of the grid, which will line up shortly, of course, we'll get a still shot of the grid forming up as the cars drop into position, and there they go now. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen is the BMW M6, and on the right-hand side of the screen is another BMW M6, but no doubt this will keep swapping now back and forward as we get the race underway. We are on board here with race 2 winner Jamal Gondor, who starts on the second row of the grid in 4th position. Alongside him is Mohammed Akram. But here we go. Here we are now. There's a very short hold here, and away we go already for round 3 of hashtag No Filter Esports Tournament for 2021. Down towards turn 1 we go here, and it's looking like a fierce battle already. Let's just move the mic right away from my mouth there. I can hear it kind of crackling in my own ears here. And down we go. We're trying to go full wide already. That's not going to work. As we work our way through, looks like everyone's got through here cleanly. I think Failure's got a lot to look into going down that first corner. And there is a car off in the background. That's the Porsche 911 of Alexander Sanivas, who's been spun out already. And that drops him back from 8th fastest. We've got cars already off in the runoff area going to turn 3. We've got a battle for position already in turn for 2nd position. Bentley Continental GT, Mohammed Akram's lost out in position already. While all this is happening in the background, the leader Alawali is escaping up the road, which is absolutely loving as Jamal Gandor. He's already up in the second position. Oh, there's slight contact there between Charlie Hike, and we're around going through what is the corner just before the back straight there. And, well, that looked like an Audi, and that looked like Charlie Hike as well. We were on board with Hayek actually as well when we saw the contact. And it looked like it was just the right front bump. Oh, we got another car around as well. That's the Bentley Continental GT of Mohammed Akram, who started on the second row of the grid. And that's unfortunate for him already. A very contact-heavy first lap here. As we said, the stewards are going to have a lot to look into here. We've got incident on corner 1. We have incidents going through the final sector 1 area. And, of course, onto the back straight. And into that first corner, there's very slow Rob Day circulating round as well, although that might just be our screen. Yes, it is actually. Too much to worry here. Here's my Honda, he lost out on the opening lap, now down into fourth position after starting in second place, which drops him now down to fourth position. Right, he's now just made a move on the inside of Harzaki through the final corner. That puts him now into third place, but now he has to try and catch race 2 winner Jamal Gandor, and of course our race leader Alawali. Top 3 goes the way of BMW, actually the top 5 goes all the way through BMW. It's Alawali, Gandor, Hopper, Zaki and Vehicle Professor all running in the BMW M6. As we said, it has been the car of choice over the past 3 race weekends. We're going to include this one as well here for our third and final round, as we're on lap 2 officially now. Race leader up by 2.3 seconds ahead of Jamal Gandor, the Omani driver, looking for his first outright win here. It'll be a great way to start it as well, because of course it's the first race of the series, and looking to start and finish it off in style. So he won qualifying, current pole position, and now looking for a race win here as well is Ibrahim. Here is, well, that was Le Mans. That was the only Mercedes AMG in the field, currently out into 8th position. Alexander Fanibas, though, a great recovery drive so far after he was spun going through turn number 1. We saw him just in the background there on the outside in the runoff area of that corner, up into 10th position already. So already making moves up the order. He's got past now Mohammed Jalan, actually put himself in 9th position. And actually those two are squabbling for that position, just for the 9th position at the moment. As it's just changed hands again. Of course, here with Racer, we do have live timing that updates in real time. So as soon as the driver gets past, we see it happen on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, I can't really pick and choose who I want to be on board with the camera. I've just got auto mode here. So we're on board now with Vehicle Professor, who loses out to Harzak Zaki, or is this actually Vehicle Professor looking for a way on the inside? He's going to try and do it down towards the final corner here. As he looks on the inside, has he got enough room? No, as Harzak Zaki shuts the door on him. And that leads Vehicle Professor now to wonder if he can make a move going down towards turn 1. As Harzak Zaki attempts to break the toe here, but Vehicle Professor is following him. As they lead the way across the start-finish line there. Again, using a lot of the runoff area through that first corner. We did see this in both round 1 and 2, but after speaking to Clever Course, he said that is allowed. They are indeed putting 2 wheels off the line, not 4. I think if they put all 4 off, then it's something to look into, but I think 2 is perfectly fine. We've got a great battle here for 5th position between Harzak Zaki and Vehicle Professor. The Saudi driver looking for a way around the outside. Couldn't quite find it through sector turn 1, or sector 1 for that matter even, as there was a briefly spinning Mohammed Akram in the Bentley Continental GT, which is caught the tail end of that incident. I'm sure if there was contact. He was the only one there spinning, so it may have just lost the rear end going through the corner. As Alexander Zanibas now meeting between the 2 Corvette sandwich here, as one of our newcomers, Adora, is in front of him, and then it's Mohammed Jalan, another one of our newcomers, slotted in behind him. Of course, those two battling for 10th position at the moment. Of course, Anibas spun off through turn 1, and of course, Mohammed Jalan started at the back of the field. Both of them trying to work their way now up the order. But at the front, the lead is 2.7 seconds between Alawali and Gandor. Gandor looking for another strong finish here to maximise his points into, of course, the final race here. Of course, is not our final race. We'll have a grand finale which takes place next weekend. Dubai Harbour, as part of the epic hashtag NoFilter DXB event. You can catch all the action live there. If you're in Dubai or if you're travelling to Dubai for the new motor show, just catch all the action live and check out, as I said, the simulators that pole position have here. And as I said, watch all of these guys in action. The vehicle professor still has about a way past Hazem Zaki. Zaki is controlling that position. But on the inside again, looks vehicle professor is two very different lines looking at there for both Hazem Zaki and vehicle professor. Because of course, Hazem Zaki going the wide, the long way around essentially, trying to get that, trying to cut the vehicle professor off to not take the move position as it comes across it. The vehicle professor takes a much tighter line in comparison to driver that's in fourth position. Gap up front still 2.8 seconds, well, it's just becoming 2.6 seconds there, but there's no change at the moment. There's a further 14th of a second between Gondor and Uber. BMW, actually got 5 BMWs in the top 5 at the moment, so we're going to have BMWs all over the place, all over the podium by the looks of it, with just under 13 minutes remaining here at the Dubai Autodrome. It's racing online here in the hashtag NoFilter round 3 of the esports tournament for 2021. So we're off the back straight here for the 5th time, and still this battle races on for 4th position. Just in front is the battle over for 3rd. Is there a battle going on for 3rd? No, there's not. At the moment, actually, yes, there is a battle for 2nd position, because around the outside bowl, by the looks of it, goes Gulamaya looking for 2nd position, trying to take that away from Jamal Gondor, and that looks like a very wonky rear wing on Rob Day's cars. Rob Day had a little bit of contact out there, so it did look a little bit skew with. Well, there may have just been the angle as Alexander Zanibas working his way up the order, now up to the 7th position overall, getting past the Merc. Right now, see what's going on up ahead of the field. If you look at Jamal and Gulamaya, they're separated by 2/10 of a second out the line, and just briefly was there a change of position for 2nd. And the good news is for Ibrahim, who's out front, this is allowing him to escape up the road, although the two weren't catching him, so went side by side there with the Porsche and the Mercedes through turn 1. Now, we kind of saw that at the beginning of the race. It didn't end well for at least one of our drivers. It looks like the two have cleanly stayed off one another, which is great news. Great to see as well. Close action here online. In race room with our drivers here, who's putting on a stellar performance. Now, it looks like Mohammed Akram and Charlie Hayek may have retired from the race. It's showing that Charlie Hayek is 3 laps down from our race leader, and Mohammed Akram in the Bentley, who we saw spin a number of times, may be out as well by the looks of it, because he showed us a lap down to our race leader. So loses more time now to Jamal Gondor, driven up the BMW M6 there. So the gap has come down to almost, what, 2nd separating the two of them by the looks of it. Now it's dropping back through sector 3, because it looks like this is where the 2nd of those 2 BMWs that you're seeing right now at the back is quickest through sector 3. But unfortunately through sector 1 and sector 2 is where that 3rd place BMW loses ground to Jamal Gondor. Is very opportune in the 2nd of the Audis, the best place, number 2 so far, certainly in 6th position. Eventful race so far for Ferry, looking to chase down Vehicle Professor, who not too long ago was locked in battle with Hazem Zaki, but now the gap has extended to about 1.7 seconds separating those two. So it looks like that battle started, and it looks like that Corvette, Mohammed Jalan, has quite significant damage to the front end of it. Now, that may be due to contact, because of course we have seen some cars go off. Now, is this contact with, possibly we're just speculating here, we don't know until official confirmation comes through, but is this from contact with Bentley, and is or Charlie Hayek's BMW? That would explain as to why he has that damage. Now, we did see a few cars in round 2 and round 1 with very minor damage. with front splitters kind of hanging off a little bit of damage to the right and left fronts. But we haven't seen damage like this on any of the cars. We've not seen it bonnet dented like this. And of course, it could be another issue, and we're already speculating that this is due to damage. He may have hit the wall somewhere, but then how is he still running in, where is he now, 9th position, isn't he? Because with Levan's under pressure here for 9th place, with that gap being just 0.2 of a second separating the two of them. And it looks like Mohamed Jalan's going to try and go to the inside line here. He's going to break as late as he dares, but unfortunately has to slot in behind the AMG, which keeps him now at 9th position, although it's shown that he's in 8th place. So he's actually moved up in the Corvette. So it looks like actually the move worked. He did spook Levan's enough to get him to outbrake himself and put the Corvette into 8th position. Yes, indeed, there it is. There's a Corvette in front of the Mercedes, and he's putting a gap now between himself and the Merc is Mohamed Jalan. And there's Rob Day. Kind of looked like he was off track there from the angle that we just had. So drama there for Rob Day in the second of the Audis. Leading Audi, of course, very option up into 6th position. Gap up front though, 2.1 seconds separating Alawali, and it looks like the battle for second is starting now to diminish, because it is now 1.8 seconds separating Jamal Gulama. And unfortunately, it looks like maybe Gulama has used up too much of his car already, because of course we are running realistic settings here in pole position, making it as accurate as we can compared to real life racing. And of course that includes damage, tyre wear, fuel consumption, and assist off as well. And it looks like possibly, again, Gulama has unfortunately may have used up a little bit too much of his car, or he's biding his time. But of course he has to be careful here, because 7 minutes to go seems like a lot of paper. When it comes to racing, doing 158, he hasn't got a lot of laps to do now, because that would be, give or take, I think it would be, if Massa is correct, it would be just 4 laps to go before the end of the race. From lap number 7 now, that takes to 11 laps. So yeah, that would be correct here. If we're running 158, although it looks like we're running 157, so it still would be roughly around 4 laps. Hopper has to pick up the pace, to say the least, here, as he is actually doing that, because he's brought that gap down by 0.4 of a second. It's only 1.3 seconds now separating to them. But more importantly, now that Gulama has dropped at the back of Jamal Gandor is now starting to catch our race leader. Now, Ibrahim Alawali has had sort of a calm race, always lonesome out front, with not a care in the world. But it looks like Jamal is starting now. Now that he doesn't have to play defensive, he can now catch our race leader. Now, the gap was coming down, and looked like it was improving, at least through sector 1 and sector 2, but now through the 3rd sector, it looks like he's losing ground to our race leader, which of course is good news for Ibrahim, but not good news for Jamal Gandor, as we continue here on lap number 8. The top 3, Ibrahim Alawali, Jamal Gandor, and Gulama Hopper, separated by 3.1 seconds. They're currently working their way now through the 1st sector. Into sector 1, I think, goes our race leader. But you can actually see all 3 of them actually into shot more or less the time. And you can actually see now that Jamal Gandor is actually improving through sector 1 as he brought the gap down to as low as 1.4 seconds. And here comes Gulama as well. He may be just playing a little bit here. Not with our emotions, but with the drivers around him, kind of dropping back, settling in ever so slightly, not giving away all that he has. And now he's starting to flip his cards over to show them what's really in store with what should be 3 laps to go, essentially, because we've got under 5 minutes on the clock. And if we do the math, it would be close to 3 laps to go. Which leaves us plenty of time, and the gap up front now has come down to less than a second, as both Jamal and Gulama run wide through the corner there. And that loses a little bit of time for Gandor and Alawali, but he is closing, and I think now for the first time since lap 1, Ibrahim out in front will have not 1, but possibly 2 cars in his rearview mirror, because actually Gulama has dropped back as well. It looks like he's dropped back by quite a margin as well. It's at 1.9 seconds he's dropped back through that third sector. So he's ran wide somewhere as well. Always trying to make a move, and it hasn't paid off. Trying to outbrake Jamal Gondor, and it's dropped him way back. It's still looking for a way around Zaki, and this back has also come back into play here. Dropped back ever so slightly, with Professor dropping over a second behind, but that gap has now come down to seconds. Is that 1/8 of a second separating the two of them? Once again, Big Professor looking for a way on the inside. Similar lines though through sector one, turn one even for those two drivers. Their BMWs, of course, both identical cars, and the only difference is the liveries. You can see that one has green highlights and one has orange highlights, but mechanically and aerodynamically as well, the cars are identical. Now, back marker traffic is coming into play for our race leaders, and it's really hindered Ibrahim Alawali at the moment because the gap has come down to 0.3 of a second out in front. Here comes Jamal Gondor. He's looking for a second overall victory here. As we've gone back now with the battle for fifth position, but we want to see this battle, fourth position. We want to see this battle for the lead of the race here because Jamal Gondor is all over the back of Alawali as we work our way off the back straight now, and into sector 3 we go. The gap was 0.3 of a second. A bit wide there through as Rob Day moves out of the way. Indeed, I think he did him because it's damaged the front of that Audi. And back on board with battle for fifth position, between Big Professor and Zaki. Keep a close eye on the left-hand side of our screen. It's the braking zone we go. And almost a slight touch there from the two BMWs, but they kept it nice and clean and off each other's bumpers here. There's the gap in front, is 0.2 of a second. It looks like my Hopper as well is losing ground. Back market traffic just catching him in the wrong part of the track. As we're about to start the penultimate lap here, what should be the penultimate lap here if my maths is correct. Looking like it's correct, but I've been proven wrong in the past. I don't have a calculator, and when it comes to uneven numbers, the maths goes out the window. Was that a change of position? No, it wasn't, because Jamal Gondor was looking for a way around the outside. Now that will work going through turn 2, not through turn 1, as it shuts the door on him. But here we are on board. With Jamal, who loses ever so slightly a little bit of time to our race leader. Back and forth, left and right we go. But it is Ibrahim who's managed to stay out in front for the first time in the race so far. It looks like he has a mirror full of BMW. He's not caught up, not joined Jamal here for the battle for the lead of the race. But the battle is certainly on here with 2 laps to go. 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock. Indeed, it would be the final lap when we started it this time round. As we're onto the back straight now, can Jamal pick up the toe? As Ibrahim blocks the inside line here, plays defensive. Jamal's going to try and go around the outside. That's not where he wants to be, but it will be the preferred line going into the next corner as he's run wide, not forced wide, running wide there. That's important to note. As Hazem Zaki again under pressure from Vehicle Professor as Professor looks around the outside, going through right-hander at the end, the back straight away. Riding again, a little bit of a bump there, just like, hey, look how fast can you get out of my way, please. But Hazem Zaki's not going to make it easy for Big Professor as he momentarily gets full position. But can he make the move stick? As we have a change for the lead of the race, Jamal Gondor has gone into the lead with Ibrahim Alawali now in second position, but he's fighting back, and he's fighting back around the outside. Or is that Gulama Hopper? Because it's Hopper who is with them as well. How has he managed to claw back, 1.3 seconds in just 2 sectors? A great drive here from the man who's currently in third position, and was momentarily there second from Alawali in just 1 lap. Alawali almost lost 2 places across the line now. This should be the final lap of the race. The white flag should be out, and we have a great battle here for the top step of the podium. Jamal Gondor, Ibrahim Alawali, and Gulama Hopper all battling here for the lead of the race. And this is the lap that it counts here, the final lap. Who will it be? Jamal Gondor now straight to the lead out by 0.4 of a second. He's put a few car lengths separating himself and Alawali. Big Professor up now into fourth position, not yet, because Zaki's just got back past going through turn 1 in his BMW. We still have the 5 BMWs in the top 5 as we run. Alawali, unfortunately, now in second position. He's going to have to try and find a way through He's not going to do it on the corner before the back straightaway. I mean, he's going to have to pick up the toe, but he's going to have to play defensive as well as aggressive here as well, because he does not want to allow the BMW behind him through. Gullmeyer was on the third to the podium, looking to improve here from round 2. Looking on the inside, can he get the cut back through? No, that's the compressor that's gone off there. And he's dropping down the order like a soda. It looks like Hopper's managed to find a way through because Alawali is showing us in third position, but the battle is not over yet. It might be for the lead of the race, with these two squabbling here for second position. But again, they've been banging on each other's doors. Can they keep it running smoothly through that right-hander? Yes, they can. And now it's the downhill run into the Bowl complex. It's going to be who has the inside line going down towards this corner now. It looks like Hopper has that line stuck for the time being, but Alawali is going to try and move it on the outside. No, he doesn't. He tries to fake it through the inside, but it looks like he's going to have to try the long way around, going through the Bowl complex, and he may have to settle for third. But what can he do now? Through the penultimate corner down towards turn 1. Can he late brake? Can he outbrake the man that's in second position? No, it doesn't look like he will, and it looks like Jamal Gondor will do 2 races back-to-back for a race win. It's across the line. It's the Lebanese driver, and he got that all-important first position on the penultimate lap. Jamal Gondor wins the race from Gullmeyer Hopper, and then it's Ibrahim Alawali in third position. Hatem Zaki will be across the line. No, he won't. He'll be fourth. He won't be fourth at the line. He'll be sixth at the line as Terry Rochin gets fourth. Alexandros Anibas after that spin at turn 1 on lap 1, all the way up in the top 5. Hatem Zaki, 6th. Vehicle Professor, who we saw off on the final lap, in 7th. Mohamed Jalan is 8th in the Corvette. Levans in his Mercedes is 9th. And then rounding out our top 10 is... It's Agora, isn't it? Yes, it is. And then we have Mark Fasselhorn in 11th. Rob Day will come across the line in 12th position, which he has already. And then Muhammad Akram and unfortunately Charlie Hayek, we lost both of them early on. And that wraps up race number 3 of the hashtag NoFilterDXP esports tournament for 2021. And what a race it was on the final 2 laps, because Jamal Gondor wins his second race. But it was Gullmeyer Hopper who was the fastest out there with 1:57.194. And of course, are your results in front of your screen right now. So that wraps up our final online race. Of course, we will have our grand finale, 2 finales, if I'm not mistaken, or at least 2 races leading up to our grand finale, and that will be live at Dubai Harbour. And well, that wraps things up here at Pole Position HQ. We thank you for joining us. We thank all the drivers as well. We thank our stewards here as well, because of course, without you, it wouldn't be possible. And of course, a huge shout out to our sponsors here as well for our esports tournament for hashtag NoFilterDXP 2021.